Hey, how's it going? This is Joe Walsh bringing you the Get Out and Surf podcast. This is episode number 50. Just like that, it's 50. Nikki, any words?
Any words of what, wisdom?
I don't know.
None here. We're just recovering from our employees or our Witches Rock Christmas annual party.
The employee Christmas party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. Long evening, long day, and everyone had a great time.
Oh my goodness, I've been hungover all day.
I haven't. I played it safe.
Yeah.
But it's, we're here to number 50, the big 5-0.
Pat, this is probably why you don't drink, so you don't have to feel like this.
It's exactly why I stopped drinking, because I woke up one day and I said, how is this an efficient use of time?
I've been miserable. You know what solved it, though? I went surfing in the river mouth. And
Did it help?
It cured me.
That and time. Time takes care of it, too.
Oh, God, all day. Time did not do anything. I, woke up really early, and I had to drink water. I was like, oh, I got a bad headache. Oh, this one's going to be bad.
Time works when you're at a certain age. I feel as you get to a certain age, time doesn't do shit when it comes to a hangover. It really doesn't. You can sit there all day, and all you're doing is waiting to go to bed.
You know, usually at these employee Christmas parties, because they get bigger and bigger every year, it seems like they just keep getting bigger. I never stay out too late. I'm always back home before midnight. I know the party goes on later, and the later you're out, the more just disastrous the next day is. But I was out until after 1, which is pretty late for me. I'm a early to bed, early to rise kind of guy. So definitely tied one on last night.
Oh, and I was in bed by 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, because I got to jump on a plane tomorrow morning at 6:45 from Liberia. So that means I got to be up at 3:30 or something. Dude, I know, right? Awful.
I'm going to set my alarm at
3:30
so I can wake up and be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, dude.
And then I'm going to go roll over. And
I've been packing all day, because we're renting our house out for Christmas when we're gone. So, of course, it's going to be cleaner than it's ever been before. So all of that today, packing, hungover.
Well, me and Patrick are going to stay back here and hold the fort down at Witches Rock.
I'm pretty sure I'll be back in a few days, though, man. There's too much going on. I mean, well, I'm 50-50.
Look at the forecast.
The swell forecast?
Yeah.
Actually, listen, getting back to the swell forecast, I didn't think there were going to be waves, and there was really good waves right out in front. I came down mid-afternoon, still not feeling 100%. Totally stressed because I've just been spending hours just cleaning up all the stuff in my house, getting ready to leave, packing my bags and whatnot. And I see this racing left, just reeling a left, deep in the river mouth over towards almost the other side of the river. And it just went going and going. And a guy was on it and getting a great wave. And it was wasn't too many people out. And so I had my board in the car, just jumped out, and it ended up being a magic session. It was one of those days where you always kind of travel with your surfboard in your car, because you never know when you might just see some waves. And just, I had a million things to do, but all I really wanted to do was go catch a wave. And it was pretty good, man. I had at least half a dozen well above average waves. So Rivermouth, been surfing up some waves lately.
You ain't got some waves as well, Pat?
Yeah, I did. I went over to Casitas and got a good hour of surfing in over there. The water was crystal clear. The water was really warm. It was only about waist high, maybe chest high at best, but it was a lot of fun. Good shape.
Yeah, the winds have been blowing offshore. What, you didn't surf today?
No, I'm just saying, I if there's one thing out here when the winds are blowing offshore, the waves are such a good shape and they can be so much fun. You get these little unexpected sessions,
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it was with the tide going out, so a little bit of current, and everybody that was out there kept just drifting out of position pretty much immediately. So you had to paddle a little bit to stay in spot, or stay really far inside and stand where you're in chest deep water, so the outgoing tide doesn't suck you out. And they were coming in. It wasn't huge. It wasn't wasn't rifling overhead barrels, but it was waist to stomach high, lined up. Maybe a few bigger ones too.
All you need is a little bit of wave for a lot of fun and some stoke.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I've been riding that 5.7 Firewire baked potato, which is a secret weapon. I almost didn't want to say it, but I just said it. That's the secret weapon in Tamarindo, is the short, wide, voluminous. Is that what you say? Voluminous? Is that a word? A lot of volume?
I've seen some voluminous women before.
Okay. Yeah, that is a word.
Most of them are fucking party last night.
That was a great party, by the way.
Yeah, it was a great party.
Yeah, I left at 9:45.
Yeah.
I don't want to see. I really don't want to see anything that happens after I leave, or later on after everyone's been drinking, because I might have to discipline them.
Yeah.
And it's difficult for me to be there and to see that. I'd rather hear about it the next day because it doesn't bother me as much.
Dude. Well, yeah, you must probably go home waiting to get that phone call that something's happened. But last night was really chill. And just want to say thank you to, obviously, all the employees and workers that we have at Witches Rock who help us, and make this place what it is. And all the guests that were there as well, because I know those guys were having a good time. So if you're listening to this podcast and you were there at the Christmas party, as we said, come in, enjoy yourselves. We're just one big happy family.
We had guests trying to give their credit card to pay for drinks. They didn't realize that it was all just free.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, my room number 10. Can you put it on my room?" It's like, no, it's a Christmas party. It's free, bro.
Dude, and then I had some random people I never see that were coming up to me that live in town. Like, dude, man, can I get a bracelet to for the party? I'm like, it's the employee Christmas party. And of course, I didn't say that. I bought him a drink because I don't want to be
Well, that's kind of like how he got into the party as with me, because I invite one guy who spends a lot of time down here, and then he brings a +1, and they're standing there, and you can't be like, yeah, you can.
They're raging though. We got 130 employees. It's like a +1, so that's almost 300 people, plus all the guests that are staying at the surf camp, plus all the stragglers that just kind of show up.
Yeah, I mean, I gave out 6 bracelets to
just some friends, right?
Yeah. To Ricardo and all the crew from
Coco crew.
From Coco,
Sure.
those people are bros,
No, but dude, there was a lot of killer people that showed up for that party last night, and I was super stoked. I was just saying there were some random people that I don't even know. I was like, how the hell did you get here?
Oh, some people smell a free party. It's like the wedding crashes or something like that.
Dude,
can you smell free beer?
That band that came in, not the band like the house band, but then the marching band. What's it called?
Yeah, the carnival.
Yeah, dude, they had some killer outfits. Never seen those outfits before. They were sexy Oompa Loompas, if there was such a thing. They had this. Really? Did you see that? You were there.
Shout out to Webster.
Yeah. They had some great drumming and dancing going on, and it really just kept the mood alive. Sorry to all the neighbors in Tamarindo.
No, you know what? I'm not sorry to all the neighbors. I'm sorry. We are open every day.
That's the one day we close.
You neighbors that are complaining about it, we know who you are. And you never come into the business to spend a dime, and you don't contribute anything to Tamarindo. So there you have it. You know what my number is. You know where to reach me if you got a problem with what I'm saying.
It is true. There are a lot of people that move down here that don't actually really do much, right?
But complain.
It's true. It's eye-opening at an event like last night to see how many people we have working for the surf camp. What a crew. We really do have an amazing team. They really are a friendly, hard-working bunch. Our guests are super stoked. I keep hearing them tell me how friendly everyone is. And so that means they're not just friendly to me. They're friendly to anybody that stays at the surf camp, anybody coming through. That's like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're not just friendly to the people that pay them.
Exactly.
No, really, I mean that in this most sincere sense. You know what I mean? This country is extremely friendly. It is purida. Everyone is super happy, and it's very nice to meet everyone's families. And Chinana came in. I hadn't seen him for a couple of months. Was so happy to see him. He's one of our main sort of craftsmen that we have here working maintenance.
Dude, I was so stoked to hear that he's
so happy
coming
to
back.
see him again. We are really, literally one big happy family. We fall out, but we are one big happy family.
Yeah, what did he do to himself anyway?
He tore his meniscus in his knee, so he had to get meniscus surgery.
Oh, yeah. When I saw him last night, as soon as he spotted me, he had those big eyes and started limping.
Dude,
he's doing that to the wrong person.
No, down here you get 2 months off if you get a knee surgery. I had the same surgery, and I told you I was surfing 2 weeks later. You can't do damage after you get a meniscus surgery because all they do is trim the meniscus. But I mean, dude, if he gets 8 weeks, take it. Good for him.
Well, you know what though? It's a financial hardship because
totally.
Issei only gives them 60%.
Ends.
Yeah,
Issei only gives them a
Issei gives them an electric bill.
Phone bill.
All right, so here we are. We are at episode 50.
We are, and we're looking back at the entire year of podcasts that we did. That's all this is. This is, everyone listening, thank you, number one, for listening. And whether it's your first episode or you've been listening since number one, we really appreciate you downloading the podcast and taking this trip with us. Because we didn't really know what we were doing when we started out. I still don't think we know exactly what we're doing.
No, we don't. We really are just, we're just going with the flow with this. And it's been... I didn't believe you when you were like, oh, yeah, we're going to go over here, we're going to go over there, we're going to travel and stuff like that. And
so a year ago, we had our radio show, and we decided after 6 years of a radio show that we were going to change mediums, change formats, go to a podcast. Never done it before. And maybe it was a little ambitious to go for one every week. But then again, I think that probably forced us to do some things we otherwise wouldn't have done, had some conversations that we otherwise wouldn't have organized and done. Pat, you were like, dude, no way. Kind of.
I should have said, yeah, we'll do that, and then you wouldn't have done it. But if I said, no way, then, I'm going to do it every single week.
We did speak about it. It's been a challenge to get up and get the content and find information or a good guest or whatever. But again, it's been a good challenge.
Yeah,
and especially the traveling part it's just been amazing. It's been I just totally enjoyed the hell out of that.
So what trips did we do this year for the Get Out and Surf podcast? What did we do?
I remember that we were at your house, and literally within 2 hours we were going from Japan to Kiribati to Hawaii to Morocco, and we had this whole sort of like world map.
We have a whole second season we got to do, so maybe we're going to get some of those spots.
Absolutely, but then you were like, we're going to Hawaii, and we're like, okay, we're going to Hawaii. Don't believe you. Oh, no, we're going to Hawaii. Right, and off we went. So Hawaii was our first trip.
With the North Shore Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, I was very much reminded. I was just watching the Pipeline Masters. There was Peter Mel literally in the lineup with a microphone, like commentating as it's actually happening. And then there is Mark Cunningham, swam up behind him, like live on air, swam up behind him, was giving him rabbit ears as he was doing the interview, and then literally grabbed his board and pulled it away from him and scared the hell out of him.
No way. Really?
And you could see that the guy had white hair, wasn't sure who it was, and it's like you have that kind of connection now with someone like, we sat down and had a conversation with him. He was a great guy. He's one of my favorite podcasts we ever did.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah.
Like a super killer guy. I probably would have not gone to the North Shore of Hawaii this year if it wasn't for the podcast.
No.
We just went to the Great Lakes. We've been doing all kinds of stuff on the Great Lakes. My eyes have been open to a surf community that I didn't know existed, and I think that the whole sort of Great Lakes surf scene is... life's better knowing that it exists. I guess you could put it that way. It made me realize just how cool these little surf communities that maybe you don't get the best waves, but you ride the waves you have, and it's all about the stoke. And I think that's the part of surfing I like the most. So I really connect with people that put that stoke first and foremost. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to like move somewhere like there and surf in the middle of winter and have like...
well, I'm going to tell you flat out right now, there's no way I'm going to move there. I'd love to go visit again. People are great. That part of the world is absolutely beautiful, and they're just lovely, lovely people. But I'm not dealing with snow when it comes to my wetsuits.
Yeah,
just not doing it.
Hey Pat, what was like the coolest sort of podcast for you to do, or what had an impact on you?
As they said in Gladiator.
Well, at my age, I can't remember what I did yesterday, and you want me to remember back to 50 podcasts that you had to pull me in kicking and screaming every single podcast.
Oh, come on. You can't say that you haven't. There's some part of the conversation or the interaction with people
I kind of liked it when we were coming back from Michigan, and we're in a flea bag hotel room, all packed into one room, doing a podcast about what we just got through doing in Muskegon. So that was, that's what I remember.
Yeah, I thought that going up to stay at Larry Larson's, Larry the Cheese's place.
that was great.
Yeah,
that was absolutely awesome. I mean, Larry and his wife moved out of their house, gave us their whole house that overlooks a beautiful lake, Who does those kinds of things?
And fills their fridge with beer and cheese.
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah, and Joe broke their turntable.
Oh my God! No, I did not.
That was me. It was me.
Larry, I lied to you. They did break it.
It was not me. I wanted nothing to do with it.
I'm just going to say it was me. So, Larry, you get like 10 drop-ins or something.
I think I put the first record on. It was like some Bob Marley, like Zion.
I don't remember, but I had nothing to do with it. But I cannot tell a lie. You guys broke it.
We've broken many things.
I think it was an antique.
It wasn't a gramophone. It was like a 1970s.
Yeah, you weren't even born when they made that thing, and you broke it.
Oh, come on.
It's because you don't
I'm
even
not
know.
that old. I mean, that young, should I say. Sorry. I'm not that young.
All right, Larry.
We love you.
Send us the bill.
Hey, you know what? If it wasn't for Larry, we wouldn't have hooked up with Mitch McNeil. And I got to say that I was personally really inspired by the last episode that we did, covering the whole issue going on with Lake Michigan and U.S. Steel and all these other factories. It inspires me to want to do more better things and to shed more light on the people and the issues at hand, but then also talking about solutions, not just problems. The
thing is, we all know this is a larger problem, but a lot of us will not act until it's at our doorstep. When it's that people that we care about are getting sick, or the literal trash is washing up on your shore.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. I think meeting these people and being able to talk to these people who are very actively involved in environmentalism and stuff like that. And what I have found is, if you are a surfer, then you've got to be an environmentalist. There's no other way. I've heard it said many, many times.
The history of the whole plastics recycling was created by the plastics company to push it off on the individual to try to take care of the plastics. What a great way to manipulate people. It's their responsibility.
Yeah,
not our responsibility.
Yeah, so we working further up the supply chain to the source of the issues instead of like at some lower level where you're like,
as a consumer, you know what I mean. The packaging is you get what you get, if you know what I mean. Or I remember going with my, I'm not that old, but I'm not that young, but I remember going to the supermarket with my mum and they didn't have plastic bags and nothing was in a container, nothing was in plastic. And you just weighed it out and it went into like a cloth bag or whatever.
Remember when the 6-packs had those plastic carry covers that would fit over the cans, and like you take that off and those things would get caught over birds' heads and fish and it's like like ridiculous.
Oh no, it's an absolute shit show from where it goes from just 1 or 2 generations, 1 to like 2 to 3 generations, and the larger companies have such a responsibility. Us as an individual, we also have a responsibility, and we should do everything that we can to have as little impact on the world as possible, but and teach our children. But at the end of the day, if you had the option not to use plastic and it was out there as a consumer, you'd still pay top dollar for it. You still pay for it, if you know what I mean. But it just is cheaper for them to use all this stuff.
Yeah. So I joined the Chicago Surfrider, and I think that we should join every Surfrider in every place we went this year. So that would be Hawaii, California. I was in British Columbia. We were in Great Lakes. We were in England. I went to New Zealand. I was really inspired by that, and also other episodes throughout the year that really let us kind of focus a little more on sustainability and the environment. And so I know that moving forward, that's something that I definitely want to connect more with, or just continue down that path, because we all have a part to play in that story.
What I have come away with after these, I suppose, 50 episodes now, what I have really come away with is that the surf culture is alive and well. We've spoken to people that are in the industry. We've spoken to people that are lifeguards. We've spoken to people that are just, what was his name? Eric
Sharman.
Yeah. He was just traveling from Bend, Oregon, all the way down to Argentina. I'm pretty sure he's going to hook up with some sort of South American girl along the way, so I doubt he'll make it. But like, the surf culture is alive and well, and we're connecting with the podcast. We're able to connect that to listeners, to people and it makes me happy that that people are taking their own part of surfing. You don't have to be a shortboarder, you don't have to be a longboarder, you don't have to be this, just go surf. Just get out and surf, you know what I mean? It really is. It's like, going to New Zealand, going to England, and, seeing all those people still, like, braving the elements and really going for it, going to Hawaii and just being, like, blown away by the people's hospitality and their aloha spirit. I was very nervous going to Hawaii because I was like, oh, well, this is going to be completely out of my league. I surfed okay, but, like, I was just so nervous about going. But everyone in the water, out of the water, was so friendly. And, and then meeting people like Eric, meeting people like Mike Clifford along the way, and all these people, it just makes me very, very happy to be part of this culture and be part of this tribe.
Yeah, talking about Eric Sharman, that was episode 36. 1 motorcycle, 2 surfboards, 3 years, and 10,000 miles. And talk about an epic surf adventure. The guy from Coos Bay, Oregon, is spending a 3-year journey traveling through Central and South America, going all the way from Oregon to the tip of Argentina, Tierra del Fuego. Pretty cool story. Just, riding motorcycle, camping, all the surf communities you go through. And really, when you're a surfer and you have that ability to do something like that, that's a pretty amazing story. I know that I was inspired. Makes me want to pull the kids out of school and go drive a school bus somewhere. But then again. Yeah, Pat, you kept telling me before we started the podcast that we should do like a multi-series part on like the whole bus ride coming down here and kind of how Witches Rock started in the first place, because it's such a pretty epic story and sort of like set of experiences. Is really worth sharing. Never really done that before, but maybe that's something we'll do here in the future, Well, let's talk about traveling, because we got 2020 right around the corner, and let's talk about the podcast, because really we've done it every week, 50 weeks in a row. It's pretty ambitious. Definitely had a good time. But I know that season 2, we're going to scale it back a little bit. So I think maybe we're going to go for, instead of once a week, more like once a month. Does that seem like too big of a change? What do you think, Pat?
No, I think that, we can do more research, some better productions, and it'll be just as rewarding.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get more listeners, and we'll do some topics, maybe get some sponsorship from some companies and get some advertising and reach out to more listeners.
Yeah. Because I think we all agree we would like this to grow. We'd like this to go in like in a positive direction, and okay, if we scale back to like once a month, but like hopefully like that podcast is going to be like super top quality. And there's a lot of information and a lot of entertainment for people.
Yeah. We had tens and tens of thousands of downloads of our podcast this year. So it wasn't like it was just a few. A lot of listeners.
Like your mom, my mom.
Yeah, and they listen every week. So they each, it's all the same people over and over again.
Dude, okay. So here we're going to look at our top countries. Were the United States, then Canada, then the UK, then Australia, then Costa Rica, then New Zealand, then France, Germany, Spain, and then Sweden. Sweden made the top 10. Is that 10? They're on the list. There's surf in Sweden.
So are these the listeners?
Yeah, people that listen to the podcast from all over. We obviously get a lot of people from North America because we speak English and we're from there and we go there often. But then we've got people from all over Europe. We had a lot of listeners that have been coming from the Great Lakes in the U.S., a lot of people from New Zealand, from when I was down there hanging out with Ray Finley. Amazing surfboard shaper. I know you guys weren't there for that trip, but that was pretty awesome. And I don't think I would have done what I did if it hadn't been for the podcast. I knew I wanted to check it out, but, actually like linking up with someone like Ray and getting the inside scoop on the setup at Raglan, that's a pretty interesting set of information. I would definitely tell anybody that was thinking about going to New Zealand to check that out.
Yeah, we also have a question.
Oh, okay.
From long-time listener Amir.
Oh, all right.
We've heard from Amir before. And he wants to know, what do we think of surf knobs? Have you seen those advertised recently?
No.
I have surf knobs on my feet. That's from knee paddling.
No. These are surf knobs. They're these two sort of handle knobs that you put onto your surfboard. So when you pop up, you have something to grab hold of. I know it's a bit difficult to ask you about it if you haven't seen it, but
Amir, I don't think much about it at all.
I've got no idea even what a surf knob is.
Yeah, it's something else for you to when you lose your board. It's something else to hit you in the head and cut your head open.
There you go, Amir. Given to you by the...
Hey, Amir knows our email, and we appreciate your emails, Amir. Keep them coming. We want emails from anyone listening that wants to help guide this podcast in the future. The email is getoutandsurfcr@gmail.com. You're a listener. We're doing this for you. What do you want to hear more of?
Where do you want us to go? What do you want us to talk about? We know what we want to do.
And if everyone doesn't want to hear me, they want to vote me off, that's fine with me too.
You have no idea how many fans you have. You have more
vote
fans
now.
They
vote
don't.
now.
Don't vote. Actually, vote. Yeah, but make him realise that he's actually wanted and part of this podcast.
Bullshit.
All right, so we've got news. We've got news for 2020 because, I mean, really, there's some big things going on. We were talking about Firewire earlier, but what are we doing? Opening a Firewire demo center right here at Witches Rock Surf Camp in Tamarindo, right across the street from the existing surf shop. And what used to be Kelly's Surf Shop has now been acquired by Witches Rock and is becoming the Firewire Surfboard Demo Center, as well as other brands. Probably won't be until the first couple weeks of January because we're waiting on a container. But throughout the month of January and into February, we'll be filling in a ton of Firewire shapes. And then we're going to get our own line of softboards, which are fully recycled and fully recyclable surfboards. Softboards for surf lessons and the lower intermediate level. So we're doing some big stuff with surfboards.
Yeah, and this is a shout out to Adam. I know where you live.
We miss you, Adam. Adam Greenman. He was on the podcast. Episode 31, old school Adam Greenman. And talk about a crazy... What? We were at his house. What are you looking at me?
Well, I'm not looking... What are you looking at?
I don't know.
You looking at me?
I definitely wasn't looking at you. I was definitely looking at Joe.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you were talking? What, do I owe you money?
No, you don't owe me money. No one owes me money.
All right, so we have these surfboards that are fully recycled, fully recyclable, that we are going to be implementing into the Tamarindo surf scene here. We're going to be testing them out at our new demo center. If you are coming through Tamarindo and you want to see what it's like by the end of January, beginning of February, if freaking the stars align, because apparently that container that's supposed to be here by now hasn't even left. What is it? Shenzhen? Is that the
Shenzhen, Shandong, or
Well, anyways, I think it's pretty awesome that we're going that direction, and I'm really excited about the Firewire boards because the last couple of years I've been running a lot of different shapes of Firewires. They are quality boards. They really are, and it's what we have like 50 or 60 that we'll have in inventory in total.
We really fucking love Firewire surfboards. They've been...
You can't say that too much, though, because then they're, when I try to hit them up for some advertising for the season 2, they're going to be like, oh, you guys are going to give us free press anyways.
Yeah, but it's writing different types of models and different types of construction of where, materials and stuff like that. And the Timber Tech and the helium and everything like that, they're just really performed
they're doing some really cool stuff, and it's cool to be able to share. And also, there's a lot of reasons why they actually are a more sustainable solution because they do last so long. That the biggest problem is with surfboards, right? Is that it's built with petroleum-based products, from the foam to the resins, fiberglass cloth. Really, they aren't the most environmentally friendly things. I know Firewire is working on more sustainable solutions, and I think that's part of definitely the future plan. For them, and hopefully it pushes the whole industry in that direction. So,
well, if you're going to push that industry in that direction, then you got to start thinking about pushing the industry that makes boats and vans and campers and
everything.
So I mean, it's good that surfers are thinking that way, but we got to get the whole nation to think that way.
The whole bloody world.
Sounds like a different podcast we got to start, Pat.
Yeah, that's a podcast for a different era, a different time.
Give ourselves fake names so when we go after the man, they don't know who's hitting them.
Normally Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj?
Nicki Minaj, yeah.
That sounds like Kylie Minogue.
Well, no,
sounds like a boy
Nicki
band
Minaj.
name.
She's a freaking.
Sounds like a boy band name.
I am a boy band. I am a boy band. I've been bloody cursed with bloody having boy band bangs, boy band bloody everything. Boy band name.
Just come on.
Chameleon. Yeah, chameleon.
Hey, I got to give a shout out to Robert's longboards because I rode mine the other day and it still works.
Robert, yeah, he does make a fine longboard.
He does. Yeah, I haven't.
Hey, you know something? He's one of the last of the living, breathing hand shapers out there.
Yeah.
He's shaped thousands upon thousands of surfboards, and he's shaping those things right here at Witches Rock. You can see him shape one every single week, and
he narrates the Endless Summer too. I mean, I'm sorry, he narrates the Endless Summer also.
Yeah, every Tuesday he narrates the Endless Summer, the original.
The original.
That I saw in 1966.
That I saw in 2002.
That I see every Tuesday. No, it really, you know what? Sometimes I think when you're right in the middle of it, you're unable to pull yourself out and look at your situation objectively. And that's kind of the situation we have here at Witches Rock, is we see Robert every day, work with him all the time. It's like, you know, I want to say he's like my grandpa, but I don't know if that's. Okay.
We do need. We actually could we could do like an episode where he could just like tell us all the bad stories.
Oh, you mean like
all the bad stories? Because it's like it wasn't that clean living back then. As like there's no way.
Like Robert August raw, uncensored. Is that really what you're saying? Really?
We'd have
you
to.
Go
we'd
there?
have to. At the same time,
With
we'd have to invite Adrian
Nicki Minaj
to cover ourselves legally.
We'll do that with the other podcast with the fake names.
Well, so it's been a good run, Joe.
Yeah, it has.
And I think it's time for us to say goodnight. I'm going to go to Green Papaya and get a burrito to go. Have my dinner.
You gonna watch Netflix?
I'm going to watch Netflix.
What are you gonna watch?
And go to sleep.
Because you tie, because you went surfing all afternoon.
No, I went surfing for an hour.
Tie.
I mean, it does feel like all afternoon at my age, you know?
How was it over there?
It was all right. My diaper filled up with sand.
All right. Well, hey, guys, I want to thank you both. It's been a cool run. I felt like I had some great conversations. I got to know a lot of people a lot better this year, and I'm a better person for it. So I'm pretty stoked that we did it. And it's not the end. It's just the end of this. I don't know. That sounds so.
Well, that's not final. No, don't you make us know if that's the end of this. No,
Seriously,
it's
I feel
not.
sad.
No, man. Like we have a lot of ideas. We don't know where this is going to go, but we have a lot of ideas and a lot of ambitions. So please stay tuned.
Yeah, email us.
You know, and if we take ayahuasca, we're going to have all kinds of ideas.
Oh, do you want to do that? We should do an ayahuasca session. Yes, come on, Pat.
Damn hippie.
Come on, man. We could just like we'll clip you up with like a wireless microphone and just press record.
No, that whole ayahuasca thing is a bunch of
what?
Heebie-jeebie.
Yeah. Are we done with this jerk off session? Let's go.
Goodbye, everybody. Pura vida.
Pura vida.